Welcome to A Meaningful Marketplace.
I'm Sarah Masoni from Oregon State University's Food Innovation Center, where I've helped countless dreamers launch their new food products. It's the science of taking a food delight from the kitchen to mass manufacturing and still keeping its great taste. That's what I do. I've been called the woman with the $1 million palate, although I haven't tried to cash that check yet. Listen in weekly for real-life stories.
I'm Sarah Marshall, owner of Marshall's Hot Sauce and author of Preservation Pantry, modern canning from root to top and stem to core. I love inspiring business owners to get started on their journey, encourage folks to be part of their local community, and I'm excited to help business owners tell their stories. Hello, and welcome to The Meaningful Marketplace. We are here weekly to discuss the journeys of food entrepreneurs. We're glad you've joined us today as we bring you stories of hope and inspiration. This is Sarah Marshall, owner of Marshall's Hot Sauce.
And Sarah Masoni of Oregon State University's Food Innovation Center. Welcome back, Sarah.
Hey, I'm back from London.
World traveler.
I know. Well, I'm never really a world traveler. This is only my second time overseas, but I feel like it. I'm definitely off kilter, and I don't know what day or time it is. And that's just the way I'm rolling.
That's one of the features and benefits of traveling.
Yeah. I was going to record the show with you from London, and then I realized it was midnight London time, and that
it was too hard.
My hotel
Although
neighbors...
you did sound like you were somewhere fun when I talked to you.
Yeah, I was in the piano bar downstairs at the hotel.
See? There's no way you could have recorded from there.
I couldn't have recorded from there, and I didn't think if I recorded in my room that my neighbors at midnight would want to hear me being like, "Hey, everybody."
It all worked out.
Well, thanks for covering for me. I am excited for where you were because you were just in Colorado.
I was.
You got to meet lots of our guests.
Yeah, quick 24-hour trip to Colorado to be a judge for their Colorado Collision Pitch Fest.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and we had 5 companies that were competing for different amounts of money, and they all won something, and that was fun. And then the next day they had about 30 or so food companies in like a farmer's market inside of Spur. So it was fun. Yeah, and I saw some of our guests from Colorado.
I was very jealous of all of our buddies that you got to see and talk to when you sent and posted the pictures.
Yeah, it was so fun. It made me feel really special. They actually have hotel rooms right inside of their building there. So I got to stay like in a dormitory hotel room, and I was just kind of there for 24 hours. I flew in, I drove there, I stayed there, then I drove back to the airport and I flew home.
That's so fun. Well, and if people want to listen to our Colorado episodes, you can find those up on all of our platforms. Sarah got to meet with our co-host Mike and then a bunch of the guests that we had on the show. So you can check those episodes out. They're super fun. I do have some exciting news about the podcast. We now have a hotline that you can call. So if you have questions for Sarah or me or any of our co-hosts or guests, or you just want to know something about becoming a maker, becoming an entrepreneur, whatever you want, you can call and you can leave us a message. You can also text. You don't have to call. But the number is 503-395-8858. So any way that you want to connect to Sarah and I, you can leave us a voicemail or you can leave us a text and we will answer your calls live on the show. So that number one more time, 503-395-8858. Pretty fun, right, Sarah?
Oh.
Are you excited about it?
I am. How about you?
I'm pretty stoked.
You're the one who thought of it, so good job.
Because I think sometimes people want to be a guest on the show just because they want to ask you questions. So I thought this was a really nice way for them to be able to do that if we couldn't book them.
Who knows what people are going to ask? That's going to be the funny part.
Yeah, it'll be super fun. I'm excited. So give us a call, anybody, whatever you got, we'll put you on air. So we have been partnering with the Regional Food Business Center to bring you guests from the 6 state regions. We're currently meeting with business owners from the great state of Montana. And we would like to welcome our co-host today, Joel Carlson. He's the facility manager at Mission West. Joel, tell us more about what you do.
I'm the facility manager here at Mission Mountain Food Enterprise Center. I'm also in charge of client services. I oversee all the day-to-day activities here at the facility. Make sure everything runs smoothly, keep on track with all the food safety aspects.
The production. That's important.
Yeah, important job.
Yeah, it's the the baseline of what we do here. We can't do anything without food safety.
Joel's not going to tell you, but he's a foodie.
I am. I'm a
Oh,
big time foodie.
we love
So you
that.
probably taste all the
I'll
food
taste
that gets
anything
made.
at least once. So at Mission Mountain Food Enterprise Center here, it's a shared use food processing and manufacturing facility in Ronan, Montana. It's the only facility like it in all of the great state of Montana.
Ooh,
Our focus is basically on incubating startup food product entrepreneurs, which helps strengthens our local food supply chain and helps our local food economies as well, which is really important for the trickle down to the farmers who are selling all their produce for everybody to make the great products that they make out of this great healthy food that's raised here. Our facility is 13,000 square feet. We're FDA registered, USDA meat inspected, certified organic, and licensed for retail and wholesale food production and storage. And we worked with about over 160 food businesses since 2001 when we first began all of this.
that's a lot of business in Montana.
It is, yes,
Per
especially
capita.
food entrepreneurs. It's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool. And where is the facility based?
It's in Ronan, Montana. We're on the Flathead Indian Reservation, north of Missoula and south of Kalispell, where our guest is from. And we do a lot here. We have 6 different production rooms here that our clients rent out by the hour. We have a dry fill room where only dry ingredients are allowed in that room. And spice mixes, teas, and freeze-dried meals are produced in there and packaged. We also have a harvest wash room, which is where all the processing of fruits and vegetables happens. And we do all the cherry pitting for all the Flathead cherry producers around Flathead Lake.
That's amazing.
Last year, we did 38,000 pounds of cherries.
What?
Wow, that's so many.
Yeah, we got to the end of the month and we're like, we don't
Did
want.
your fingers turn purple or red or something?
Yeah, they're bright red. Some are the yellow and the red color,
Yeah.
but most of them are the red varieties.
Yeah, we talked to the cherry producer Mara Vale last week from Voxy Shrubs.
Right.
She said it was a bad year for cherry production, though, so you couldn't have done 38,000 pounds this year.
Last year we did 38,000. This year we only did 4,000 pounds.
Look at that.
Yeah.
We had a warm up in the end of January this year, and
messed everything up.
Well, the buds started to push out, and then we had 24 to 30 below come in days after that, and it wiped out the entire cherry blossoms. Also
Terrible.
pear blossoms, apricots, some of the plums were hurt by it too. So next year ought to be a fantastic year for the cherries.
We hope so.
But the apples did well.
The apples did exceptionally well. Yes. Yep, they did.
It's give and take.
So another room that we have is the room with the small electric kettles and the convection ovens.
They're big. They're not small.
Well, we have those are the 40-gallon kettles.
Oh, okay.
And that's where we start out our small producers. And then they gradually move into the 100-gallon steam jacketed kettles in our large.
That's what I was thinking
that's
about.
huge.
That was it, Sarah. The 40-gallon kettles, our producers make jams, jellies, chutneys, different kinds of mustards, and barbecue sauces. And it's where we make our own lentil burgers that are very
That's right.
famous in the valley here.
And I helped formulate those, just for the record.
Yes, you did. In our large steam jacketed kettles, the 100-gallon kettles, we do barbecue sauce. Foxy Shrubs that you mentioned makes their cherry shrubs in those kettles as well.
Yeah.
We do our beef lentil crumble in those kettles, just because we do it en masse. And
where do you sell that?
We sell that to the Western Montana Growers Co-op and different food pantries around the valleys here.
Schools too?
Schools a little bit, and the Boys and Girls Clubs like to buy that as well. It was especially, the sales were prevalent during COVID when the schools were closed, and the Boys and Girls Club took it on to start feeding all the kids
All the
that
hungry
not
kids.
have the hungry kids, yes, that didn't have
Mm-hmm.
lunches, which people in America have no idea how many children rely on that lunch at school as their only.
Main meal.
Yes.
And they put that stuff inside of like a taco shell. It's so good.
Right, they do, and they can flavor it with taco seasoning if they want, or just leave it
Mm-hmm.
as a lentil beef crumble. We also make our Montana marinara sauce. Thank you, Sarah, for your help with that.
Yeah, we did it for you too.
Yes, and that goes to all the schools' lunches across all of Montana, and the kids just love it. And we'll be talking more about that next week when I talk about the value-added products.
So cool.
Nice.
Well, we're excited to have you with us. You're going to be with us for a couple of shows as our Montana expert. So I'm super excited. I always love too hearing when Sarah has her hands in different projects. So
Who knew?
always proud of
For
the
help
work
with
that my
us.
buddy is doing.
Mhm. Yep. Pretty exciting stuff.
Well,
Yeah,
and we would like to encourage you to connect with your state by signing up for the Regional Food Business Center newsletter. It's a breeze to sign up. Just go to Northwest Rocky Mountain Regional Food Business Center.com, hit connect with us, and choose the button to receive newsletters. And we want to thank our sponsor for supporting Masoni Marshall. Thank you for helping us spread the word about small business owners and entrepreneurs. Let's hear a word from our sponsor. The Northwest and Rocky Mountain Regional Food Business Center is the proud sponsor of the Meaningful Marketplace podcast, giving a voice to food from across the 6-state region of Colorado, Idaho, Montana, Oregon, Washington, and Wyoming. The Food Business Center supports Northwest and Rocky Mountain food industry makers as part of the USDA's National Network of Food Business Centers, supporting a more resilient, diverse, and competitive food system as a go-to source for small and mid-tier food and farm businesses with a focus on underserved communities, providing education in the form of technical knowledge, business programs, and industry news. We sponsor trade shows, meetups, and conferences to connect growers, producers, retailers, distributors, and processors, all to stimulate business and raise the standards of our storied food industry. Join us as we travel through the 6-state region, learning more about food makers, food hubs, and food systems. Visit the website at Northwest Rocky Mountain Regional Food Businesses.com to get connected. And I have the pleasure today of introducing our guest, David Brodie. He's the owner of Hounds Hot Sauce, making hot sauce in Kalispell, Montana. Did I say that right?
Kalispell.
Kalispell. Okay. We're delighted to have you on the show today. We like to connect our listeners to you and give them the best way to follow your story. So how can they find you on social media and online?
I just want to say I'm really happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
We're happy you're
first
here.
podcast ever, so that's really
Whoa,
exciting.
Your first one.
podcast.
Yay.
Yay.
You can find me on Instagram at Hot Hounds Sauce, S on the end of Hounds, and also I have a website, hothoundssauce.com. I have online ordering set up for Montana only at this point. And
Why?
I'm working
I want to ask you why.
Sarah's gonna
still working with the FDA and going back and forth with Dun & Bradstreet and getting all that registered with them before I can sell and ship across state lines. So hopefully soon here it'll be coming through. So if you're listening to this and you want to order some and you're not in Montana, definitely reach out on the Instagram and shoot me a message, and you'll be the first to know once I'm ready to go with the FDA and all that.
Well, and just to say real quick, because I've had experience with this process, it does take a little while to set it up, and there's very particular things that you have to put on all of those forms. And if you don't do the exact right thing in the exact right spot, they'll hold you up for a little while. But then once you have that, it's so much easier. Like, now I can add sauces whenever I have new ones. I just go in the system and plug it in. It's only hard in the very beginning. So you'll get through that, and then you'll be able to
New
ship your
stuff's
sauces
always
all over.
hard.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it's a breeze. So just hang tight and keep, they always say cross the T's and dot the I's. Like they want them so specific.
Oh yeah.
Once you get it done, then you'll know exactly what you need to do every time. And then you can just do it from there.
Definitely. Yeah. I have utmost respect for what they do and how they have to regulate it.
Sure.
I have a little bit of a biotechnology background, and so used to work in pharmaceutical space that was also FDA regulated.
Yeah, I mean, I love that. I always love all the food safety people because I feel like you are doing exactly what we need to be able to do our jobs. And so as long as we know what you want and we know what to do, we will do it. And it's a little bit of a difficult process at first, but I mean, it should be, you should know exactly what you need and what's expected, and that takes time. So then once you get it figured out, then you're going to be ready to roll, and we'll be able to order your sauce soon.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, we always like to start at the beginning. So when did you start your business and what inspired you to start your sauce biz?
So my wife and I moved to Montana last August, and this was based off of her career. So I was searching for a job here, and in between jobs, we just got talking one night, and she just asked me, what would you really love to do? Like we're starting to put down roots, and we moved to where we love, and we want to do what we love too. So, and hot sauce, making a hot sauce business was the first thing that came out of my mouth. I've always seen hot sauce at farmers market and smaller companies and thought it was so cool. People are doing that. And I've been a lifelong hot sauce lover. And so it just kind of made sense. But I've always kind of thought of it in the back of my mind, over the last 10 years, just like, oh, how cool would that be? And my wife is definitely very inspiring, and she said, well, why don't you do it? So I was like, oh, I guess I'll start looking into that. Yeah, I just got researching, and one thing led to another. Just started taking notes on all the different requirements there were, and started really working on recipes. I've made a lot of salsa in my life, and I've tried hundreds of hot sauces, but I hadn't really made hot sauces per se. And so the winter is cold here in Montana, often below zero, and it was a good time to just be at home experimenting in the evenings, just making batch after batch. And yeah, I spent a lot of 6-hour nights after my full-time job. I'd get home and just get a bunch of ingredients and just make batches and take notes and come up with my little method to make little micro adjustments. And yeah, just spent a few months kind of working on recipes as I started to get the schooling completed, the licensing completed. There's definitely a lot of hurdles you have to do with getting like a shelf stable acidified food.
Well, Joel and Sarah, you guys are kind of the experts in that area, because what happens for you both is that you have people that come to you with a dream, and they're maybe new sauce makers. And so how do you guide them along on that journey to create their sauce safely?
I always check the pH first.
Oh, yes.
And depending on where we sit with the pH, we want it to be below 4.2. Most hot sauces are, because everyone puts vinegar in them and lemon juice and stuff like that. So, and then I talk to the maker about their process that they follow, and then help them make any adjustments that I think they might need to for time and temperature during the cooking process. And then help them to document everything, because you have to have everything written down, step-by-step instructions with times and temperatures and pH, and just take it kind of from there. And because Joel, you're more of on the manufacturing side. What do you look for?
Right. Well, we first of all tell them what we need from them, say liability insurance to cover their product, as well as us. We are one of the co-insured on all liability insurance here with our clients. When they approach us about, say, a hot sauce, we will send them to a person in Washington State who will take a sample of their sauce and dissect it basically and tell them how it needs to be cooked, what temperature it needs to be reached, and what their target pH has to be. So then we take that and create a form for them while they're on the floor making it. And there's certain places where they have to sign off, record their temperatures, their pHs, and initial next to it so that it's all verified. And when they actually come in and start to make their sauce, we have an orientation day with the new client, take them through, train them on all the equipment they're going to be using to create their hot sauce. and guide them on their packaging and labeling, as to what needs to be on their labels, what can't be on the labels, claims that they make, and how to back those up as well. And then teach them about sanitation, food safety, and cleanup after they're done with leasing our kitchen.
Gotta clean, right?
Always important. I've always had a dream to, because we have a similar process of what you're describing, and there is like a form that we fill out, and our inspectors want to come see it. But I've always thought there should be an app that everybody has where it just like goes in there and that the inspectors can see it like while it's being done, so that because they do come and check, but then they have to go through paper files, and it always seems like, haven't we moved past that paper point at this time?
Right.
I think, across every state, we should have like just an app that everybody is all connected to. What do you guys think about that?
We currently use forms on JotForm
Oh,
to record all of these, especially when we're doing our own processes here with our own products.
that's a good idea. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to jot that down.
Are you going to jot it down digitally or with a pencil?
I know. And here I am complaining about the things not being digital, and I'm writing things on paper.
Maybe put it on your notes on your phone so you're digital.
It's true. Well, I was lucky enough to receive some hot sauces from David.
What?
Yeah. So
I'm
he
jealous now.
sent me all 3 hot sauces. Sarah can share them with you later. We're in different rooms right now. But, when we first did the show, our guests would come in person and bring us their product. This was pre-COVID. And we would sit in a tiny room together, and Sarah and I would try all the stuff. But we haven't really gotten to do that very often. So I am going to taste through your sauces. And I'm super excited. I'm so stoked. I'm going to try them on a spoon. But while I taste them, you could tell me about them. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds perfect.
So the first one I'm going to try them in order of heat. And I'm going to try one, and then we have to take a break. But the first one I'm going to try, so this is Hounds hot sauce. I'm trying pineapple pup. It's got, well, I'll let you tell me about it. Tell me about pineapple pup.
So yeah, I'll try and sum it up because I ramble on.
Yeah, sure.
Pineapple pup. I asked my wife what kind of hot sauce she would want as one of the hot sauces. So I made one in honor of her, and she wanted something pineapple flavored. So I went to town trying to create something in that realm, and I thought a green style sauce would go good with that. So that one has tomatillo, poblano, serrano, jalapeno, yellow onion, and white wine vinegar, pink Himalayan salt, and a touch of habanero to kind of adjust the heat to where I want. It is a mild, and there's habanero in there, which might be confusing, but it's like the slightest bit to just give it that mild kick, because some of the jalapenos and serranos these days like aren't as hot. So
yeah, our mildest sauce has habanero in it, but we smoke the habaneros and then make a powder, so it gives it like a smoky flavor, but not hot. And so people always read it and they're like, I can't have habanero, it's too hot. But then everyone eats it. So I'm gonna try it. I love it. I love the color. People can't
How does
see,
it smell?
but it smells great. Definitely smells like pineapple. Like there's a little sweetness. Yeah. Smells like jalapeno peppers for sure. And the consistency is really nice and
going
smooth.
Straight up, huh? Right out the spoon?
Right out. Oh yeah, totally. Okay, giving it a go. Oh yum. Yep. I can taste all the things. I can taste the tomatillos for sure. I couldn't smell the tomatillos, but I can taste them. The pineapple, really lovely texture, nice flavor, mild sauce. I dig it.
Awesome.
What's your favorite thing to put it on?
Pineapple pup is really good. Like ultimate thing is fish tacos.
Yum.
Really good on Mexican fare. And I had someone tell me at a farmer's market, she came back 1 week and said she was on the carnivore diet and she was putting it on her steak all week. And I have never done that by itself until she said that. And like just green sauce on steak actually goes really well.
I love when people give me new ideas for how they use my sauce. It makes me so excited. I'm like, oh, I've never tried that, but I'm going to go home and try it now.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I'll keep tasting sauce and we'll keep asking you questions about your biz. So we'll be right back. The Northwest and Rocky Mountain Regional Food Business Center is the proud sponsor of the Meaningful Marketplace podcast, giving a voice to food from across the 6-state region of Colorado, Idaho, Montana, Oregon, Washington, and Wyoming. The Food Business Center supports Northwest and Rocky Mountain food industry makers as part of the USDA's National Network of Food Business Centers, supporting a more resilient, diverse, and competitive food system as a go-to source for small and mid-tier food and farm businesses with a focus on underserved communities, providing education in the form of technical knowledge, business programs, and industry news. We sponsor trade shows, meetups, and conferences to connect growers, producers, retailers, distributors, and processors, all to stimulate business and raise the standards of our storied food industry. Join us as we travel through the 6-state region, learning more about food makers, food hubs, and food systems. Visit the website at Northwest Rocky Mountain Regional Food Businesses.com to get connected.
All right, Sarah, what's up next?
Well, I'm moving on from the mild to the medium. So I have now, it looks like it's called Bassitude. Oh, yeah, by the way, I'm not wearing my reading glasses. so it's hard for me to read the words.
Bassitude.
I got the name right. I know, I have
you.
to hold it far away, but then I thought, anyways. So that's what I'm going to try. Will you tell us about it while I'm going to try it?
So you might have figured out by now the hot sauce is Basset Hound themed. And that one's called Bassitude because it's got a little more attitude than the mild sauce. So, I really love Chipotle flavors just generally. And so I wanted to make something in that realm, but I wanted it to be different. And so like a hound, I used my nose to kind of to shop around and find something else to add to that, and came across Chili de Arbol, which just smelled really good. You can they have holes in the bags at the store, so you can squeeze the bag and smell the dried chilies. So that one just spoke to me, and I use almost the equal ratio of Chili de Arbol and Chipotles in there, and that gives it a little extra kick too from that chili. But again, white wine vinegar, pink Himalayan salt, garlic, a lot of Roma tomatoes. Nothing from concentrate.
It's really nice. I tasted it while you were chatting. Sorry for everybody if you have to hear my mouth sounds, but I'm very close to the mic. But I love it. It has a nice smoky flavor. Just a little bit sweet. It's not too spicy. It's a good medium hot sauce. I think it's really great. I would picture it with I think it'd be really great on any kind of meat or anything that you're going to barbecue because it has that smoky element already. And the texture would coat things really nicely. What's your favorite thing to do with it?
Cottage cheese.
Ooh.
I don't know. I don't know. Do you eat cottage cheese and hot sauce?
Yeah, I bet it's so good. I'm trying to get you to try something different. You said you'd try it.
I would try it. Okay.
Okay.
My challenge is, and I will update everybody next week, is to try this sauce on cottage cheese. I don't even know if I've had cottage cheese since I was a child.
Cottage cheese is making a comeback. It's a great source of protein. For a half cup, you get 25 grams of protein.
Sarah, I believe you and I trust you and I will try it.
Okay, good.
Okay, should we move on to the next one?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, final sauce. This one's called Bird Dog Curry. And when I emailed you, you were like, ooh, I have a carrot curry sauce. So I was the most excited to try this one, of course, because I have a habanero carrot curry sauce. But
this one's really good.
Is it?
I couldn't believe you have a carrot curry because I thought that was so unique to have those as some of the forefront flavors.
Well, I'm excited to try this one. And Joel, you've had this one. You like it?
I really like it. It's my favorite of
them.
Okay, I'm excited. So tell us about it.
So
it's got a great color.
It's so pretty.
It's become my wife's favorite too now, and I made the pineapple one for her, but she loves the bird dog curry. So bird dog curry was just okay, I made my first two hot sauces. Now I want to make something just totally unique, and I kind of just went over flavors that I like, and two really unique flavors that I don't get to eat often, but when I do, I love them. Is curry. I like Indian curry, Japanese curry, and then I also love Jamaican jerk. A pile of Jamaican jerk wings and hot sauce is my jam. I'm in my happy place. So that sauce, and I love carrots. So I have a sweatshirt that says carrots right across the front. In the town, some people in town call me carrots, and so I was like, all right, I'm making a carrot-based sauce, and I'm using curry and jerk flavors. So that one has it's very heavily carrot based. Bird's eye chili, hence the bird dog curry. It has a nice earthy kind of heat to it and pretty high Scovilles. They're like 100,000 to 125,000 Scovilles on those chilies. And it has fresh ginger, fresh pressed lime, nutmeg. So like the jerk flavor is the nutmeg and the ginger.
Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, I'm gonna try
and
it.
then I use organic like curry powder that's mixed in with it as well.
Oh yeah, I love it. It's so good. So because I think you have those kind of jerk flavors and the nutmeg and stuff, it definitely like you feel it in the back of your throat, which you don't always with like fresh chilies or peppers. So I think that's really nice. It makes me think of like warming spices. And then you get the Japanese curry essence in there. I love curry too. When I was just in London, that was the main reason I went, is because I wanted to go eat the spiciest food I could find. So I went and ate a lot of Indian curries and a lot of Szechuan food. So very fun for me to experience that, but also very fun for me to try your sauces. This was really good. And that one's the hot one, the bird dog curry is a little hot because I noticed my eyebrows get a little sweaty. Which is how I want to live. Right, so it makes me really happy.
That's awesome. But it's still approachable, right? It's not like burn your face off.
No, not at all. It's like, it's just a good, nice heat, and I love it. And it makes me feel super excited. So thank you for sharing those with me. We're actually doing a hot sauce trade, so I'm going to send you some of our sauce now that I'm back home. And then you can tell me what you think about ours. And I think that our habanero carrot curry sauce is much different than yours. So I think that we can still have different customers who are, just excited about things that people are making.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm really excited for that.
Well, you brought up that your labeling is all hound themed. So can you tell us a little bit about why and, what that road is like for you?
I wanted to talk about that too, because I've noticed a lot of people are doing stuff based on their pets lately.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to know, is it because the pets have become really important parts of their family? And what influences people to make a hot sauce called after dogs?
Yeah, I love my hounds. I have a 4-year-old Basset hound and a 4-year-old coon hound. So we're just a hound family. And yeah, I thought it would be just a fun theme, honestly. It flows off the tongue, hot hound sauce. So yeah, I thought
there
it was
is
cool.
a hound hot sauce in Vermont, just so that you know.
Yeah, there is. My name is slightly different. It's actually just hot hound sauce for me.
Yeah.
And I left it like that too because I left it open to possibly make other sauces in the future, like maybe spicy peanut sauce or spicy mayo,
spaghetti sauce. You can bottle
sauce.
You can bottle Joel's marinara and put your name on it.
Have a whippet on the front of the bottle.
Yeah.
I think that's a nice way to do it too when you're just starting out, is like leave it open-ended. That's sort of like why we did our play on words, because it could be hot sauce, but really it could be anything because, it just means like high end in French. So we were like, we can do whatever we want. And we really have, we make everything from like pasta to spice blends to sauces to tahini. We just kind of do whatever because that door is open for us.
Yeah, I didn't want to be limited to hot sauce because I just love all sauces and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I mixed the Basset Hound with kind of my style. You can see the the driver's cap kind of hat.
That was going to be my next question because your logo is your dog with the hat on, but I didn't know if your dog actually wore a hat but it's you that wears the hat.
Yeah, it's the dog with my hat, my Basset Hound. So.
Your logo's really cool. Did you have a friend draw that for you?
No, I kind of made it online and had a friend kind of edit out some of the things. And
so I have a game for you guys. Are you all down?
We're ready.
You bet.
Okay, so we're going to fantasy draft our favorite hot sauces. We'll each pick 2. Can't be our own if we're sauce makers, if we're current sauce makers. And if somebody picked yours that you already picked, you got to pick another one. Sound good?
Okay.
Sarah Masoni, you want to go first?
Sure. So am I just naming the sauce or am I telling you what's in it? Or?
Yeah, just pick your 2 favorite hot sauces and why you like it.
Oh, I thought I was going to come up with a name. So I was going to call my company Ragdoll Rally Hot Sauce. And it was going to be made from ghost chilies, tomato, lime, and some fennel.
Fun. That can be one of your choices. There's no real rules here.
My second choice is Frank's.
Oh, yeah.
Solid choice. Can't go wrong with Frank's, especially on chicken wings.
Right.
It's so good.
All right, David, what's your fantasy draft hot sauces?
Ooh, long time favorite, like old school sauce. I don't eat a lot of it anymore, but I grew up on Tapatio coming from San Diego. It was in every Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
Classic.
Could put Tapatio on everything. And when I ran out, I would raid my neighbors' houses for theirs. And you'd find me there in the morning before they wake up having breakfast at their house with their hot sauce. And then I'm a sucker for sriracha. I love the classic sriracha. It's good on so many things.
Good ones. How about you, Joel?
I'd have to agree with David. The sriracha, yeah, it's so good and it's so versatile. You can use it with everything. My fantasy sauce would be raspberry chipotle sauce.
Ooh.
When I can find it, I mix it into my burgers while I'm making the patties and then grill them. And it just brings out that smoky flavor of the chipotles. And then you get the raspberry. I also mix it with sour cream and use it
Nice.
for a dip. And you get the heat of the chipotles first. And then you get the cleansing of the raspberry
The
flavor.
tart
The
raspberry
tart and the
flavor.
raspberry, it cleans out the heat from your mouth.
Mm.
And it's really good on vanilla ice cream.
Oh my
Ooh.
goodness.
Did you
Yeah.
try it on cottage
Curveball.
cheese?
I will try it on cottage cheese and let
Okay,
you know. So next week you have 2 reports of cottage cheese.
Yes.
Okay, good.
We will, Sarah. We will do this for you.
Yes.
My fantasy draft for hot sauce, I am going to go with kind of our town classic, which is Secret Aardvark. So they are a hot sauce company here in Portland, and they do some fun stuff. Stacy's the owner. I love another woman hot sauce business owner. So
Yeah.
I'm going to pick that one. And then my second one is also kind of a fantasy hot sauce, which we've had Laura on from Jablo Hot Sauce. Her and I were on Hot Ones together next to each other in the lineup, and then we've become really good buddies. And we're going to create a hot sauce together. So
Whoa.
we've been meeting to talk about how we're going to do that. And I think she's going to come here to Portland and make it with me. She lives in New York. So we've become
Whoa.
cross the country pals. And so that's going to be in the future. So future fantasy, great hot sauce between another woman hot sauce maker who I
That's great.
appreciate. And so I always love to work with other people.
That sounds really fun.
Thanks for participating in my game, everybody.
Oh, you bet.
Sometimes sometimes it makes them nervous to do something fun like that. So I'm glad everybody was down to play the game. And for our final segment, since we have to wrap things up, which is always my least favorite time, we want to know, David, if you have any advice for people that are currently dreaming up a business.
Ooh, yeah. If you're dreaming of a business, don't dream too long and start doing the research. Start implementing things, one step at a time. I didn't know everything that was involved that I needed to do to get a hot sauce business like legal and running, but I just started chipping away on one requirement and then the next, and trying to foresee the next few things. But you don't have to know everything that goes into it. If you start just making it into make a list and do one thing at a time. You can only do one thing at a time. So just try to find the motivation to really just start doing the things you have to do. I thought about a hot sauce business probably for over 10 years, and it just took like a little push from my wife to say, like, why don't you do it? So I was like, you know what? I don't know why. Why am I just thinking about it? So at some point, yeah, you just got to start knocking out all the requirements and find out what you have to do for your specific business. Everything takes time, and it's not all easy, but it's definitely very rewarding once you get it done.
Well, I think that's great advice. It's always good for people. Things seem really challenging and hard in the beginning, but you were able to do it where other people are able to do it. And I think if we just kind of get out of our own way and follow what the experts are leading us to do, then we can have these companies where we can bring hot sauce to the people. I love being able to taste your hot sauces. Thanks for sending them to me. If people want to experience your hot sauce where you are, where can they get them from?
So I've been at the Whitefish Farmers Market on Tuesday nights, 5 to 7:30, and the Big Fork Farmers Market Monday nights, also 5 to 7:30. Both of those are kind of coming to a close here. September 24th is the last Whitefish one, and the Big Fork one did end. So I do have a wholesale license, and my next push is to get in some stores. So I'm gonna try and get in like the local health food stores first. You can find my hot sauce at one restaurant called the Eatery down in Big Fork. Shout out to them. Really awesome owners down there. And yeah, I've just been taking this whole journey kind of slow. I got the wholesale license so I could get in stores eventually, but I do work full time, 40 hours a week this whole way, and yeah, did the farmers markets to begin, and now that those are coming to a close, I have the time and energy to start pushing for online sales and trying to get in some retail locations. So yeah, the best thing would just be to follow the Instagram Hot Hound Sauce and just stay up to date on there with all the news.
Perfect. Sounds great. Well, we're so glad we got to meet you today, and we encourage people to follow you and follow your journey. Thanks for telling us your story.
Thank you for having me. It was really a pleasure to be on here with you guys.
And we want to thank you for listening to the show. We love our food community and we want to connect with you. Remember, you can give us a call on our hotline if you have questions, 503-395-8858. And we record Masoni and Marshall live every week. You can find us on your favorite podcast platforms like iTunes, Spotify, and on YouTube. Thanks to our production coordinator, Kayleen, and our audio engineer, Haley. And you can send us a message if you want to be a guest on our show. And we will be back next week, everybody. Thanks for joining. Goodbye.